see when they all come in, but they all come in at a different time. So we'll just wait for them to all click in. But you guys sent through this really interesting newsletter about what we're going to talk about, the Global Produce and Floral Show. I just love this quote from Mamamo Franzo, Vice President of Merchandising for Lango Brothers Fruit Market. The products and stories behind the faces and companies we deal with are what drives the sales and consumption of produce. Continuing to build on the strong relationships we have and starting new ones that can grow into similar stories are priceless when it comes to attending the show, the Global Produce and Floral Show. Doug, that's such a good testimony to have, isn't it? For you to be able to mark it out. It feels so genuine.
It's absolutely genuine. And you know what I would say, Max, when I first joined this industry not so many years ago, the first thing that struck me is how relationship-based this industry is. That because we're dealing with a fresh and a perishable product, so much business gets done because of trusted relationships. And you see that every day. It is on full display at the Global Produce and Floral Show.
Yeah, but Megan, I don't know about you. It's over the 2-3 years that we've had of this, let's call it this hiatus of all that stuff, and having to live off Zoom and Teams meetings. That the sector of fresh produce, of the floral sector, it's a real family, it's a real community, isn't it? Not just in the States, not just in Europe, but globally. Megan, do you feel the same?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's why the energy and excitement around this year is so high with everyone. You know, everybody's had to have varying degrees of what they've been able to go to and who they've been able to connect with in person outside of Zoom. So having this opportunity on this big stage and with all these exciting things, us all coming back together, it's great that we'll all be able to be in one space and be able to form more of those relationships and build on the ones we already have.
Yep, it's going to be a Global Produce and Floral party. So everyone, my feeds are all live. So let's introduce ourselves properly. My name is Max McGillivray from Beanstalk Global. We've got the great Doug, Chief Education and Programs Officer for the IFPA, and we've got the great Megan, Director of Education and Architect of the Educational Program on, and they're representing the drumroll IFPA, the International Fresh Produce Association, and we're frankly doing a big rah-rah about the Global Produce and Floral Show, which is happening on October the 27th to the 29th, 2022 in Orlando. Now, but firstly, guys, it's brilliant that I'm going out there to assist, because I'm going to be setting up a number of live interviews, and we're also going to be doing a travel vlog of the whole show to keep the show going after it's finished. But Doug, tell us, just give us some details about the show, about how it was formed, why it's based in Orlando, what can we look forward to? Go for it, Doug.
I would say this is absolutely the premier event for fresh produce and floral for our industry. This is where we bring everybody together. And I think with everything that's happened over the course of the last several years, it's about reconnecting with those old relationships, all of your business partners, your colleagues across the industry. But it is also an opportunity to make new relationships. This is a global show. We are bringing people from all over the world together to connect, form new relationships, new business partnerships. This is absolutely the place you gotta be.
Yeah, well said. And the IFPA, we've done I think it feels like about 16 broadcasts, mainly from your colleagues in South Africa, looking to promote fresh produce from South Africa to the rest of the world. So we have a great understanding, a great love of the IFPA. But Megan, if it's okay to ask you, can you just give people a bit of a background as to the IFPA, as to how it's formed, where it is today, and where it's looking to be in the future?
Sure, absolutely. So IFPA really is bringing together two of the bigger produce associations in United Fresh and Produce Marketing Association, kind of taking the best of both worlds and creating the International Fresh Produce Association. So we're really focused on being that space where we can bring buyers and sellers together across the globe and making sure they have a space for that, and also keeping them up to date with all of the relevant content they need, current trends in the industry, and being that go-to source for thought leadership and information about the produce and floral industries.
Yeah, and I think it's inspired that you had two two groups basically doing the same thing, and you all had this very sensible conversation at some point in recent history and said, well, why don't we just all collectively join hands and make a success of this with all the firepower, all the intellectual horsepower we got within both of our organizations, come as one, and it's going to be for the greater good. And it definitely has turned out that way. Don't say this to anyone, but over here in Europe, we've got too many trade groups who I think could learn a big lesson from yourselves and actually come together and create one collective voice. Because you just look at how quickly that you're accelerating the IFPA, not only in America but globally. I wish we could learn from yourself. And again, just coming to the Global Produce and Floral Show, it says it in the title. It's not just about fresh produce, but it's also about our brothers and sisters in the floral sector as well. Again, Doug, that was a really inspired move. I don't know, has it always been that way? Has it always been a joint produce and floral show?
It has been, and there are several reasons for that. Certainly because produce and floral are very much integrated as categories within retail.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer. And I will say, most importantly, beyond how it is that they are sold to consumers, it's really honestly about the fact that both of them serve to inspire wellness, health, and nutrition, whether it's mental health and wellness from the floral side of things and the health and nutrition from produce.
Yeah, that's spot on, because it's like jingoistic to say that even on your bad days, or if there's a problem at work or an economic problem, nothing cheers you up like having fresh flowers at home, let alone that fruit basket. And we all know that the more fresh produce, the more produce that the more healthy we're going to be. And we're definitely seeing that on a UK perspective, that people want to be better, they want to be fitter. And how can they do that? They could do that via exercise and eating better. And what better thing is there to eat out there than fresh produce, rather than high sugar, high fatty, overproduced manufactured products? It's almost like that. All of our growers, they're growing sunshine. I always feel, and it's always for the good of us. So Doug, tell us what's new at the Global Produce and Floral Show. What can we look for? What sort of topics? What's the format? What are the speakers? Tell us so we can learn, please.
Where to begin? I would say that the entire show has changed. So for our members who are used to going to previous annual conferences and trade shows, the goal here is to elevate that, and to elevate it both globally, right?
Yeah.
But also to really highlight some of the innovation in our industry that, to your point, Max, what you're speaking to, begins to really foreground and promote health and nutrition, but also just the joy of fresh, the flavor, the deliciousness of fresh fruit and vegetables. While yes, they are healthy for you, they're good for you, they're nutritious, they're also just a joy to eat.
Yeah. And Megan, do you think it's our time? Do you think we've got to be, we can't just hide under our bushel, as we'd say in the UK? We've now got to be loud, bold, and proud about our sector, because we can do so much good. We can do so much good for a nation's health, wherever that nation is, by getting people to encourage them to eat and consume more fresh produce. Megan, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, some of the education and pieces that we have set up here are going to be a great venue for people to come together, learn more about that, and really be able to find that voice and be able to make that louder and project that message more broadly across the globe.
Yeah, and just from my perspective, I think especially from a UK perspective, we're very poor in marketing in fresh produce, and we know that in America, you're very strong. And there's also sometimes a view that we might be better on perhaps slightly on a technical or a packaging aspect. So again, this community that we've all got to have this cross-fertilization by meeting up in person and to making those connections, to have those conversations at the show or post the show, I think it's going to be really exciting. So Megan, who do you think is going to be coming to the show? Because we want to create these connections to boost business for everyone. So Megan, what sort of people are coming, and who would you like to see? Who can we encourage to come?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is open to everybody. This is meant for all sectors of the supply chain, no matter what your role is, no matter what area you're working in. This is really a place where everybody can come together and be able to meet those retailers, those suppliers, those floral buyers, those distributors, those food service. So no matter where you are across the produce and floral sectors, this is the place to be. So for those connections, for that community, and for those extra education sessions that will really help to guide your business into the future.
I think, Doug, she's very good, isn't she? She's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Yes, absolutely. I want to add one thing. When you're talking about what's new, to Megan's point, while this show is open to representatives all across our industry, the one thing that's unique about IFPA is that we serve the entire supply chain, from farm to retail to food service, etc., and every point in between. This year, one of the things that's going to be absolutely unique to the Global Produce and Floral Show will be that we're going to open up the trade show floor early so that folks can have a chance to walk through and to see and preview our business solutions category for our show. And this is one of the fastest expanding segments of our industry. And it's an opportunity for folks who are typically there to be selling and exhibiting their wares and their products on the show floor to actually become the buyers of some of these business solutions that they need. So this is a very unique opportunity this year that we're introducing for folks to be buyer and seller, if you will, at this event, and to create some of those new business partnerships that I was mentioning earlier. So we're really excited about that idea.
Doug, that's inspired. Was that? I'm guessing that was your idea.
I'm not going to take full credit for that. Okay, well, it's a team effort here.
I'm going to give you, Megan, and the team that credit for it, because I feel there's always a bit of a problem at shows. There was a recent show in London. It was it was an agriculture investment show, and it was for 3 days. And it was just 3 days of sat in a chair, being lectured to by people with 64-page PowerPoint presentations. And yes, some of it's of interest, but it's the networking that's key. So I think this mix, and especially use that word again, that inspired element of the buyer and seller, that's excellent. Sorry,
I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to say, Megan, is that not the perfect setup for you to talk about the education?
Absolutely.
Megan, go.
Set us up perfectly. So, when we were developing the show for this year and the education, what was going to be going on there, one of the things that we wanted to get away from was exactly what you just talked about, going to a session, sitting in one space for too long. We wanted to make sure this was something that was lively, that people could take different chunks of different segments, maybe go a little bit outside of their comfort zone of a session that they would normally go to. And that's kind of how our new education festival was born. So think of it more like that musical festival feel, where you can have a main stage where our general session speakers will be, but then you're able to go to more of these side stage sessions where you can really get to have quick hits of education on varying topics that might interest you and that align with IFPA's priorities. And you're able to see several of those and also interact with your peers and learn from one another as well. So we're really excited about the new format. Lots of great topics for people to experience.
Doug, again, well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there, team? We've got to go. We've got to
go.
You got to be there. You got to see it.
And team, I've got a slight problem that I'm going out there to do live interviews that we're going to push out on our social media platforms, and that's of the IFPA. And I've already got 35 interviews lined up, and I'm just trying to get my head round at how we're going to do it. So we know how to get involved. It is not a member only event. So non-members can attend. Doug, is that correct?
Absolutely. If you are interested in what's happening in fresh produce and floral industry, you're a professional in that industry, we welcome you. We would love to have you. And of course, we would love to have you as a member, this is a great chance to experience why this event is the global show to attend each year and what the value of membership year round beyond just the show can be for members all across the supply chain.
Yeah, and just to slightly segue, I already know about half a dozen of our client connections in the UK and Europe who are now going because they're in the ag tech software business, and they're really keen to explore that North American and South American market. And this is no offense to yourself, it's just the communication thing. They weren't aware of the show until we introduced them. Then they looked online, saw the size and scale, and have booked themselves self-sent. So just to reiterate that point, it is a global show that you've got. I tell this to my kids all the time. You've got to be curious. If you are in the fresh sector, the floral sector, whether it be as a grower, as a supplier, as a buyer, or in the tech side, it's this type of event, especially after everything that we've been through over the last 2-3 years. We need to get back in there and connect. And just from my perspective, everything I've dealt with and everyone I've dealt with within the IFPA have been so welcoming. So it's all lined up to be a great show. Speaker wise, can you just give us an understanding as to people either in America or overseas I get, Megan, I get that great idea about that festival, that there's the main stage. What sort of people will you have on the main stage, Megan, that we'll be able to listen into, please?
Sure, absolutely. So we're very excited about our main stage speakers that we have. So we do have our can't miss session that we always have, which is our state of the industry, which our CEO, Kathy Burns, will be giving on that main stage. And then we're also going to be having on Friday, we're really excited that we're going to be having José Andrés coming and talking to us about how he's changing the world through the power of food. That aligns so well with our message that we're trying to do with the joy of fresh. And then at our Women's Fresh Perspectives breakfast that we're hosting on Saturday, we have the actress and activist Marlee Matlin that's going to be there as well.
Really excited. And Doug, are you excited about the 5K run?
I am excited. I'm trying to go get my new running shoes on. I got to get my running shoes ready to go, get back out there. I'm used to running by myself over the last couple of years. Now I've got to run with a crowd of hundreds of people. So I couldn't be more excited about that.
Yeah, I run a little bit. I run a little bit in a gym, so I want to film to everyone as part of the show. Help me, is it on the Saturday morning? The 5K run is. So I'm going to have my GoPro. I just think it's going to be great yeah, but Megan, all I'm going to see is Doug.
Yes, you'll get Doug. Get Doug.
I don't know about that.
Just the back of him going that way. So coming back to the main speakers, we've had Kathy on our platforms, and she survived me. But talk about eloquent. Talk about fiercely intelligent, talk about fiercely passionate about the sector. So I can't wait to hear her state of the nation, because again, it's not just going to be for produce in the States. It's going to be, to me, it's going to be a statement that's going to be able to be used globally. So I'm really excited to hear that. So team, we've got everything lined up. Doug, is there anything more that we need to know? Well, let's do the obvious. How do we connect with yourselves? How do we sign up? How do we register? How do we get involved, please, Doug?
Couldn't be easier. All you need to do is go to freshproduce.com. All registration is online via your own personal mobile device. We've made it very simple, streamlined. I would say with the number of people we anticipate being at the global show, it is in your best interest to register in advance online. Yeah. If you have any trouble, there's a live chat feature to help you. You can do all of that before you board the plane or the train or jump in the car and head to the global show.
Yeah, and likewise, your site has been so good for us, just on boring stuff about accommodation, that it just pointed us in the right direction. It's got to sort of say it so quickly. So Megan, you'll be so excited about this as well. Have you got any advice to people, especially from those coming from overseas, as to how they can get the maximum out of the show, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I think use the resources, like you mentioned, the website, take a look there, make sure you're looking at the schedule, noting where you want to be and when, and definitely just be open. And this is a relationship driven industry. Go ready to talk and meet new people and talk about what your interests are, and learn something new. It's going to be a really exciting couple of days.
Excellent. And I've just had a WhatsApp in from the team who are dialing in. Any predictions as to the weather in Orlando for the show? You know what our Brits are like. We're very weather driven. Doug, what do you think the weather's going to be like in Orlando? What do we need to wear?
Sunny and warm. It's Florida. It's Orlando. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say our hearts don't go out to all of the members, all of the people who were impacted by the recent hurricane. But we have every bit of confidence. We've heard everything is set, ready. They are looking forward to receiving visitors and open for business. So the weather should be perfect this time of year. Not too hot, not too cold. It'll be very nice to be in Florida at this time of year.
Yeah, Doug, I'm very well said about the weather conditions that had happened in the area previously. I'm totally with you that the more that we can look to support that area, the more income that can be generated from accommodation, from Uber, from restaurant sales, rather than trying to stay away. So I think yes, it's great that the event is going on with gusto, and collectively we're going to all knock it out of the park. So before we wrap up, I've got to ask this, and Kathy was so brilliant with her answer, because so many people give a political answer to this. Megan, what's your favorite fresh produce?
Favorite fresh produce? I'm an avocado person.
Yes. Yeah.
So I gotta go. I love them all. I love them all, but that I can use it in so many different ways.
And what's your favorite way? What's your favorite way of eating a beautiful American avocado?
I'm a big avocado toast person.
Oh, lovely. Oh, just the best. Come on, Doug.
How am I going to follow that? You know what? I'm going to go with leafy greens. I love a good side salad with a number of other fruits or vegetables mixed onto that salad, but it all starts with the leafy greens for me.
Fantastic. Thank you, because I've had so many people on who have, for political reasons, they have to state that it's going to be a potato or a sweet potato, and it's lovely to hear. Again, just the one thing I've learned over the last 2-3 years, having done 250, 300 broadcasts, the thing that you always forget about produce is the taste. The taste is so amazing. The first time you see a little kid biting into a Washington apple, or an American avocado, or mango, and just that, and it's so much better than all that other food that we talked about earlier. And that's why we've all got to attend the Global Produce and Floral Show, to see the floral aspect, but also the produce aspect, to make those connections, and to really, as I said earlier, bang this sector further out of the park and make a real difference, not only to America but globally. So Megan, Doug, let's get you guys to wrap up for us. Megan, just one more time, why should we attend the Global Produce and Floral Show in Orlando, please, Megan?
It's all about the connections, the community that you're going to have there, and the education that you're going to get on site. And it's a can't miss event for the produce and floral industry.
Boom. Doug?
I think if you're looking to build, grow your business, you have an opportunity here to now, we have already almost 2,400 buyers that are registered to attend the show, and that number is growing by the day.
Yeah.
If you want to do business, you want to grow your business, make new connections, that's the reason to attend.
Yeah, well done. ROI, return of investment. So that little amount of expenditure that you've always got to pay to attend a conference like this, an event like this, it feels like you're definitely going to get significant reward on the back of it. Team, we very much look forward to meeting yourself and your fantastic colleagues in Orlando at the end of October. Really looking forward to it. I won't pack my jumper. We'll make sure we're appropriately dressed, and we look forward to seeing you on the floor and at the various events. Doug, Megan, you've been brilliant. We look forward to seeing you very, very shortly.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you
very
as
much.
well.
Thank you. Bye.